Come meet me down here at the floor. We're going to do our last add-on to the pelvic tilt series as a gentle warm-up to really move our back and work on our mobility. So imagine your pelvis as a clock, as we've discussed in previous videos. Belly button is 12 o'clock, pubic bone is 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and then you're going to fill in the rest of the numbers of the clock. So we're going to start with the very standard pelvic tilt where you're coming up to that 12 o'clock and then going down to that 6 o'clock, really allowing a gentle gap between the small of your back and the floor as you push down to 6 o'clock. You're going to inhale here and exhale as you slowly move your back down to a 12 o'clock position. We're going to do 3 more of these just to really warm up this position. So inhale, tailbone reaching down towards the floor. Exhale as you're zippering in your core, pushing the small of your back down to the mat. And you don't have to force this. Just meet your body where it's at today. Let's do 1 more in this position. Now we're going to go to the side-to-side motions where we're going up to 9 o'clock, keeping the knees as straight as possible, and then up towards 3 o'clock. And every time your hip comes up, that same leg, the knee is going to feel like it's pulling in the opposite direction. Let's do 1 more to each side here. Now we're going to go into that gentle diagonal where we're either going from a 1 o'clock position to a 7 o'clock position or 11 o'clock position to that 5 o'clock position. So we're going to start on one side, still keeping our knees forward as straight as possible. And the knee of the hip that's going up is going to feel like it's slightly pulling towards the wall in front of you. One more on this side before we switch. And we're going to switch diagonals. Nice deep belly breaths here. Trying to keep your upper chest as still as possible. Now the last variation of this pelvic clock tilt series is the pelvic clock. So imagine your pelvis, each of those points that we hit are the rim of a bowl. And imagine that the bowl is filled with water and you're just going to slowly slosh the water around the rim of the bowl. So take it nice and gentle, or you can take it in a segmental piece. So we're going to go in a counterclockwise position. So we're going to go to that 12 o'clock position, try to hit that 1 o'clock position, 3 o'clock position, 5 o'clock position, 6 o'clock position, and we're just going to slowly hit each of the points of the clock until you're able to go nice and smooth. And a good cue is to keep your hands on your hips, taking your time here At first, it may feel a little bit clunky and segmental, but the more you practice, the smoother the motion is going to be as you slosh the water around the rim of your pelvic bowl. And this is really good for your low back and hip mobility here. We're going to go one more circle in this counterclockwise position. And let's reverse that direction. So take it segmentally at first, hitting each of those points of the clock. And once your body feels used to that, you can slowly start smoothing out each motion of the clock. And we don't have to over exaggerate any of the motion. Like I said before, we're always going to meet our body where it's at today in this moment. So take another deep breath here as you move through this motion. And we'll go one more time around this clockwise circle. Good. You're going to meet me at center. So even pressure with both your feet. We're going to gently place our hands downwards on the mat. And we're going to keep everything nice and flat. So zipper in that core. Make sure ribs are nice and relaxed. We're engaging the core here. You're going to take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, bridge up, really reaching your hips towards the ceiling. And then slowly lower down in that hinged position. We're going to do a few more here. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, bring those hips up. And we're only going as high as the lower part of our shoulder blades. Our chest should be pretty neutral. No tension in our neck, in our faces, in our eyebrows. I know I hold a lot of tension in my eyebrows, so I have to really focus there. Let's do one more in this hinged position before we start a roll up bridge. So a roll up bridge, think more of that pelvic tilt where you're starting from the tailbone, lifting up segment by segment all the way to the low part of your shoulder blades. And once you're up here, you're going to reverse that almost like a slinky. So melting lower rib cage down all the way down to our tailbone, which should be the last thing to touch the mat. Let's do two more here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, slinky or roll up. Great work, guys. Gonna soften the rib cage as we go down. Really try to over exaggerate that roll. One more inhale to prepare. Exhale, roll everything up. Hips are reaching up towards the ceiling here. And then we're going to slowly roll it down. Let's take a brief rest break here. You can bring those knees into your chest. If you have any kind of knee pathologies, I love to hold behind the back of my thigh so there's no additional pressure on your knees. Just a nice gentle rock back and forth just to release any tension in that back. Good. Let's bring our legs right back down here. So now we're going to add a fun little pulse to our bridge. So making sure core is zippered in. Core is going to be engaged through this whole motion. I know you're probably feeling it through your glutes, but let's engage the core as well. So you're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, we're just going to hinge up. Hold it here. Glutes are nice and engaged, and we're going to pulse for a count of 10. So just an inch where you're going down and up. We're going to hold it for 10 and 9, really squeezing the glutes, 8, 7, 6, 5, really keeping the core engaged. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Good. Now we're gonna add a heel raise. Our hips will stay nice and still, but the only thing moving up and down are our heels. So zipper in that core, take a deep breath to prepare. Exhale, hinge up. You're gonna lift and reach those heels up as high as you can, and you're gonna slowly go down with the heels, keeping hips up towards the ceiling, reaching. So we're gonna go for 10. Here we go. 9, 8, reach those hips even further. 7, 6, halfway there. 4, 3, push your hands into the mat. 2, and 1. Let's hold the heels up for 10. 9, I know I tricked you. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the heels down, slowly lower the hips. Whew, good work, guys. Bring the knees back into your chest, roll those ankles out. We work those calves really well there. All right, we have one more variation of this bridge series, so hang in there with me. All right, a little shake for good measure. Let's bring your feet right back down. What we're gonna do is extend the leg out. We're gonna reach our arms towards the ceiling, really pulling in opposition. Those fingertips are really reaching towards the ceiling. You're gonna meet me in this bridge position. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift up. Try to keep your hips as even as possible. We're gonna shift our weight to our left side, and then we're going to slowly lift our right foot. And then we're gonna go down slightly and then up, trying to keep the hips as still as possible, reaching the arms towards the ceiling. We're just going for 3 more. Keeping core zippered in. I am shaking. This is very hard. All right, lower that down. You're gonna reset your hips. Shifting your weight to your right side, you're gonna lift that left leg and then slow little pulses. We're gonna go for 4 more. Keeping those hips as even as you can. Still breathing. And 1, lower it down. Reset those hips. Lower everything down. If you want an additional challenge, you can slowly, instead of pulsing down, you're gonna move your arm and leg out slightly to the side and then back. If not, you can stay with the gentle pulses up and down. So arms reach towards the ceiling here. You're gonna inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift the hips up. Shifting weight to your right side. Left leg comes out. Here's the advanced version. So left leg and right arm slightly inch to the side and then center. Very small, controlled movements, trying to keep the hips as stable as possible. 1 more here. Lower that leg down. Reset those hips. Bring that your weight, shift your weight to your left side. Bring the right leg up and then slight pulses out. Let's do 2 more here. Good, lower that down. Reset your hips and lower everything down. Great. Meet me on your belly for a nice child's pose. We will stretch everything out here. Take a few deep breaths in your low back. Relax the head. Bring your arms to one side of your mat. You're going to take a nice deep breath here through your spine. And then turn towards the opposite side of the mat. One last stretch here. Good work today. Thank you for joining me to this advanced bridge series. We'll see you tomorrow.